guys, don't be weary, cause I'm dreary. Yes, I know, different intro, gasp. And today we're going to be looking at some of your OCs for my reviewing. Now, this is just my personal opinion, so keep that in mind, and without any further ado, let's hop right into the video. What is your OC's name? Lilith. What is your OC's age? 119. The OC's sex is female, and she stands at 5'7" and weighs 52. Her species is a vampire. She likes fashion, beauty, tulips, a flower, and baby animals. They dislike blood, maggots, worms, and flies. Their favorite food is shin ramen, while their least favorite food is celery. Their personality is lighthearted, indigenous, and humorous, and this is their backstory. She was raised by human parents who were quite old. She was found wandering the graveyards of Periton, the main town. Being a vampire, she was severely damaged by the sun from being outside. She had scars and various burn marks. The parents had no clue but where she came from, but loved her for who she was. She aspires to be a model, even after the defects of her childhood. Right, so first we're going to look at her artwork. First of all, I have to say I love this twist. Normally when you think of vampires, you think of dark hair, red eyes, pale skin, and them wearing some dark clothing as they're hiding out in some background alley. But it doesn't make sense for this character, so I love to see this twist on a huge stereotype for vampires. She likes fashion, she likes flowers, she doesn't like blood, her appearance is all cutesy. I honestly love the twist, but you can tell that this isn't just some normal human by how pale the skin is and how red it is, I mean irritation from the sun. How does Lilith get her food if she doesn't like blood? Does she attack people nonetheless? Does she use a blood substitute, go to a blood bank? Also, how do her parents feel having a vampire child? It doesn't really say that vampires are common in this world or uncommon, so I'm a bit surprised on how their dynamic would go. Honestly, love it, and let's move on to the next one. What is your OC's name? Alister. What is your OC's age? 30. He is male, he stands at 6 feet 1 inch, and weighs 163 pounds. He is a Cambion, a half-human, half-demon. The OC likes going to the gun range, dislikes friends dying, his favorite food is enchiladas, while their least favorite food is jalapenos. Now, for the backstory. He was a normal soldier in the US Army, performing missions and learning how to handle the weapons given to him. But on one fateful mission, everything changed. His squad was performing a stealth mission to try and surprise the enemy from the back. Only, to their surprise, they were attacked instead. Everyone was being brutally shot and killed except for Al. From his rage, he unleashed his powers from being half-demon. He, of course, didn't know it, as he had never known that one of his parents was a demon, somehow. He killed every last one of the enemies in a fit of rage, and at the end, instead of going back to base and reporting what happened, he left and went mysteriously missing. He is currently a mercenary, accepting any job that requires assassinating someone. He doesn't try to make friends, so something like what happened never happens again. Alright, so taking a look at the artwork, you can tell that this is going really far off the Cambion stereotype again, and I love it. Cambions are usually seen as big, boxy, red skin, demon horns, and this takes a different spin on it. After all, not every Cambion is born from the same succubus or incubus, so obviously they would not look the exact same. Now, first things first, on talking about the character as a whole, I am a huge fan of the species that you chose. I know it's a weird thing to point out, but Cambions are really, really cool, and I feel like they don't get enough of the hype they deserve as a species. Cambions are part demon, part human in the most awesome way by being a succubus or incubus kid. They have tons of power. They're usually the demons that would make deals with humans, and they are just interesting characters every single time I see one. Sorry, I'll stop rambling about how I love the word cambion, and I'll get on to some other critiques. One, I don't think anyone would really enjoy having their friends killed. I mean, that would be very traumatizing, and I feel like in your backstory, it just kind of rushes over the part that said that he was really, really tight with his buddies in the army. I feel like even mentioning it once or twice would really bring the idea together when it comes for one of his hate-fueled moments, when he fully transforms and understands it. By mentioning the fact that he absolutely loves the group that he's in, it will make the tearing apart, the transformation, a whole lot more dramatic. But other than that, I love this character, and I'll get on to the last one for today. What is your OC's name? Mitso Kamura. What is your OC's age? 15. Their OC is male. He stands at 5'5" or 166 centimeters. He weighs 55, and his species is human. He comes from the Danganronpa fandom. He likes being treated like a normal person, mysteries to get his mind working, while he dislikes being stared at for too long, being treated as if an oddity, most other people being called strange in some cruel way. While his favorite food is ramen, his least favorite food is bloody meat. His personality. He is mostly serious internally, thinking logically, since it's the one thing he has an understanding of. He is quite socially awkward, and is fairly confused due to his lack of genuine personal contact. But he tries his best to imitate those around him, in terms of how he reacts to serious situations. Now for a brief backstory. His name is Mitso Kamura, and he is the ultimate protagonist. Now, you might be curious in what that entails, and I'll gladly explain. Essentially, he is a seemingly average person, but something about him makes many that see him strangely interested in him. A sort of weird sensation that draws people's attention. This can go as far as to an extent where some are interested in his life, rather than their own. Thus the title, Ultimate Protagonist. This factor may seem like a huge upgrade to his life, but it was really quite the latter. Placing restraining orders became a mundane task to do, and breaking and entering crimes often occurred in his home, not to mention how people's fascinations of him weren't always positive, causing him many near-death experiences. A love life was completely out of the question since he had no clue what relationship was real or fake. He hated this talent and always wished that this intrigue he caused would go away so that he could live the average life he was supposed to and should have had. He's now put into this killing game, and the lack of attention he's getting from many of the other Ultimates caused him to have a huge change in his thinking of others and of his species, some for better and for worse. This summarizes a brief synopsis on the overview of Mitsuo's character backstory. He is the protagonist, after all, to this story. So, his character background dives into much more detail, but that will be a story for a different time, to not spoil too much. Right, so looking at this art piece, I can genuinely say I am very jealous. This looks amazing, and I love it. 2,000 out of 10. The lighting is immaculate. The little puppeteer strings on him really gives you that feeling of insecurity and shows you all of the pain that he is holding back. But from his power and curse perspective, I've got to say that is a very interesting idea. I don't know much about the Danganronpa fandom or if they have powers and stuff like that, but I have to say this power seems like something, when you just hear about it at first, it seems so useful. It seems like something that I would love to have, but when you look at the effect it has on his life and his social life and, you know, the breaking and entering, it really shows you that this isn't a blessing, this is a curse. It really shows you how far people are willing to go over an obsession. But honestly, I love it, and let's go out to the outro. A vampire, a half-demon, and a Danganronpa OC all walk into a bar. What comes out? My love of cambions. It's not an obsession, I swear. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Hope you don't mind my cheesy jokes, and hopefully, if I didn't annoy you, I'll see you next time. Adios!